oh no, he's just going to cut us. It's going to be 1,000 cuts by death here. Right?
I like 1,000 cuts by death.
1,000 cuts by death? You like that? What is the real saying?
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Right. Yes.
Yours is better.
Okay,
let's
good.
go with that.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Chris Simms. It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. I'm here with Connor Rogers,
right.
my man. It's Monday morning. Sorry, it's the Sunday recap pod. But in all full transparency, if some of you out there are wondering why I didn't do it late last night like I usually do, I just can't keep doing it. That's the bottom line, all right? Call me a wimp, whatever you want to call. It's just the staying up late, Saturday night college football, Sunday night football, then doing a pod late, and then waking up early and getting up at 5:30 in the morning to do a 7 a.m. show. It's just wearing me out. So I'm sorry about that, everybody, but I hope we can make it up to everybody here with YouTube Live and have a little fun and hit on all the games. And honestly, in full honesty as well, I think I'm going to be much better, okay, and giving you more of what happened in the game, and the fact that I got a night to sleep, digest the game a little bit, right, think about a few things that went on. I get to look at my notes a little bit more, so hopefully we have a good one here today.
I'm personally noticing a renewed energy.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the first Monday I've had actually where I feel like a human, so I'll be totally transparent there too.
It's proven science that sleep actually matters.
Sleep does
Some
work,
people like to not believe in that, but it
Right.
does matter. This is going to be awesome, man, and this is a way for us to react along the way to a couple of live comments in the show. So we know the homies are going to be in the comment section. I love that the first comment from Exit Villain is Go Jets. You are the last optimist on planet Earth. I appreciate that. We got a Week 5 recap. Listen, just three home teams won this week.
Yeah.
Very odd week in that regard.
Very odd week.
It was the Colts, Panthers, and Saints of all the teams that did do it. But I think, Chris, there's no other place to start than with our game on Sunday Night Football, because the Patriots got their first real statement win with the Drake May, Mike Vrabel era, especially at Buffalo.
It was the week of the dogs. It was. And Pete will tell you in my picks, I wrote a lot of the dogs this week. I thought, again, we've talked about this a lot. Just because you're better than a team in totality doesn't always mean you match up well with them on a certain Sunday, a certain team, right? And we see that. There's certain matchups where, let's go to Sunday night, Buffalo. Okay, Buffalo's undefeated, certainly. Oh, man, the Patriots have lost 2 games. Well, let's put that into context a little bit. Week 1, they lost. Okay, week 1, we know crazy stuff happens. Their other loss was the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they really kind of controlled and dominated the football game and messed it up with turnovers in the red zone on the 1-yard line and all of that. So I went into that game last night going, hey, New England's better than people realize.
Right.
Also, I went into the game, I think like you, a little bit like, Buffalo's good, but I don't think they're as good as everybody thinks they are. There's some flaws with this team. There is. And I think you see that again last night, and we'll dive into that. But I think the bottom line headline is, holy crap, the New England Patriots. Holy crap, Drake May. Drake May just continues to go upward. And Drake May last night did stuff where I go, man, he's on the field with Josh Allen, and he's doing Josh Allen stuff.
Right.
And so you got to be pumped if you're a Patriot fan in the Patriots organization or whatever, because the team's not only playing good, but the quarterback looks like he's on the cusp of being a superstar as well.
I think that was what was so notable, is that the plays he was making, you're so used to the guy on the other sideline constantly making, where you got to ask, is this the start of a new quarterback rivalry? And this is a division right now that's begging for it. I mean, the Bills have basically been able to sleepwalk through this division for far too long.
Right.
Obviously, the Jets and Dolphins are not playing well at all this year. The Patriots did get off to that slow start. I think people were disappointed by the game against the Raiders.
Right.
But with a young quarterback and a coach that is in a place for his first season, I know he's coached at Tennessee, but his first season there, progress is what matters right now. This was a massive, massive statement. And just to go toe-to-toe against Josh Allen was what stood out so much. And Stephon Diggs was a little bit
reemergence.
He was juiced. He had some extra juice.
No doubt about
game.
it. He was pumped. I mean, that was, you could say what you want. First off, Stephon Diggs, knowing him as I do throughout the years, he's an awesome guy. He's ultra competitive. He loves football, and I would think he would take something like last night personal a little bit. That's just the way he is. And I would too if I was. So I'm not trying to say he's wrong in that approach. But you could tell in the pregame interview he was ready to go. And his emergence here as the go-to guy on their offense is, I mean, I think another bright spot other than Drake May, because we knew they needed the go-to guy. I'm a believer in the offense that you got to have go-to guys. You have to be elite at something, right, to make a defense change the way they play your team that opens up everything else on your offense for everybody else. And I think Diggs is on the cusp of doing that for their football team. I think, too, the Patriots with Josh McDaniels coaching, we know it's a well-thought-out passing game plan. For the most part this year, they've been able to kind of play, we run the ball, we're good at defense, we'll throw the ball 15 to 19, 20 times right in there. Drake May will be 16 for 20 for 220 and 2 touchdowns, like stat lines like that. But last night they play a team in the Buffalo Bills, and here's where we get into a few of the flaws with Buffalo. Buffalo, as we saw the week before, is not big up front. You can steamroll Buffalo in the run game. We saw the New Orleans Saints do that. We saw the Baltimore Ravens do that already this year, okay? We saw the Dolphins have a little success in the run game as well. So now here we are with this great pass defense. We go into the game with the Bills last night. This is one of my things during the picking the game is, yeah, Buffalo's got a great pass defense. Buffalo's really good on defense when you're good at one and not the other. But when you are pretty good at both, they're in a bind because then they can't go all in on that area. That's where McDermott is great, is he can go all in on something and go, I'll stop their best thing, right?
That's how they killed the Jets.
Exactly right.
They would blitz their corners against the run, and the Jets were like, well, we can't throw right now, so we're screwed.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So that he takes tactical chances that are phenomenal. That's why I love Sean McDermott. But on top, what the problem with them last night is, oh no, the Patriots are big up front. They might be able to push us around in the run game. Yeah, I have a great pass defense, but I'm going to have to play run defense and get the safeties and everybody else involved, or we're going to get steamrolled. And then, of course, that leads to good passing looks, as we saw in the second half of the football game. And then they became desperate to, oh wait, we feel like we have to blitz because he's going to have a lot of time to throw the ball if it's just a 4-man rush. And he was able to elude those blitzers and make plays outside the pocket, which was so awesome.
What do you think of this one from Penguin Sunburn? The Bills have mediocre weapons on offense besides, of course, Josh Allen and James Cook.
I don't want to say mediocre. Now, I would say, and this is something that I think that I've been kind of banging the table for a while. They got good talent there. I've never been wow. To me, if I had to just encapsulate what the Bills are with a statement, I'd go, they are really good on both sides of the ball. They got the meat and potatoes you want, but they miss some of the sizzle. They need to me, still another playmaker on offense and another playmaker on defense. Yeah. I think there's a little bit of both of that. But I wouldn't say, what was the phrase he used there in that comment? Ordinary or
mediocre?
Mediocre. No, yeah. I think there's a lot of good. I just don't know if there's one superstar guy that you have to double or you worry about. Like we saw last night when the Patriots have both their corners healthy, they were able to go, hey, we trust these guys against Khalil Shakir or Palmer or Mac Hollins or Keon Coleman. We trust that. And now we can use the 9 other guys on our defense to take away the middle of the field, worry about Josh Allen scrambling, stop the James Cook run game. So his point, I don't think mediocre is the word, but it's not going to – their weapons aren't going to scare defenses out of defenses they want to play because they're like, oh, no. Shakir and Keon Coleman are going to run by us for 80-yard touchdowns, right? And I think maybe that's more the point I at least would make with Buffalo.
There's no doubt, though, the Patriots defense stepped up. They're a totally different unit with Christian Gonzalez on the field. Yeah. You can run your entire secondary through him, which speaks volumes. Yep. And they played a great game against the Bills where, Marino's legacy left a comment, said Buffalo beat themselves still, in my opinion. It did feel like the first game in a long, long time, like turning back the clock, that Josh Allen was kind of jittery. Right? Like he'd feel it. He'd leave the pocket. They did a great job containing him so he couldn't run. And then he just felt like, I got to make a throw. And it was too late.
I'll be interested to watch the film. I think the corners probably locked them down a little bit in man-to-man. It did seem like, there was some defensive coverages where he's like, oh, no, nothing's there. And then you knew Vrabel and company would have a plan for him. Like, we're not going to let him run around and just totally dominate the game. You can't stop him. We know that. But if you can at least limit it, that gives you a chance. But yeah, I understand what's being said there. I know. I mean, yes, it's the Bills. They're good at home. They attack with Josh Allen. They put a lot of pressure on you. They're not afraid to go all in on offense and the defensive side of the ball. But within that, they made some mistakes last night. The turnovers certainly hurt them and maybe hurt them early on in the football game where maybe they could get a lead, jump on the Patriots just a little bit to get them doubting themselves. But they let the Patriots hang, and then the Patriots just started getting momentum. At the end of the second quarter, they really started to get it going, and that carried out through the rest of the second half.
Good opportunity for the Patriots. Their next 3 are at New Orleans, at Tennessee, home against Cleveland, so they can get some serious momentum here.
They got a chance.
And I fully expect Buffalo to be fine and bounce back.
I think so too. Buffalo is not a worry about being fine. We know they're going to be good. They're going to be in the playoffs. It's just going to be, here we are 4-1, and I'd go, Saints, we were toe-to-toe with the Saints. We were toe-to-toe with the Dolphins, who got beat by the Panthers yesterday. Yeah, we beat the Jets, but we know the Jets have a lot of problems and did some things that were stupid in that game. And then Baltimore. So it's like, yeah, Buffalo's really good. But am I ready to say they're playing at a Super Bowl, we can win the Super Bowl type of level? No, I'm not ready to say that quite yet.
And that's what they're going to be judged on.
That's what they're going to be judged on, right, Connor?
Our next game, and you were all over this one as well, Chris. Denver beats the Eagles. I knew you liked Denver's odds this week. They were underdogs in this game. I think it was 3.5 points. I'm curious what it actually closed at. They won 21-17 anyway, and I think the story remains the same around Philadelphia, Chris. While the record is completely fine, their second half woes continue. Listen to this. Jalen Hurts against man coverage, 9 of 15, 142 yards. He averaged 9.5 yards attempt. Both his touchdowns came against man coverage. Against zone, it was an entirely different story. 14 of 23, 138 yards, only 6 yards attempt. Didn't throw a touchdown. Here's the number that matters the most. He took 6 sacks.
That's right.
So that means against zone coverage, wasn't as comfortable, wasn't as confident, held the ball a really long time.
We'll hit it all here. I was shocked by Denver's approach early on in the football game. I was shocked. Blitzing Jalen Hurts is so 2 years ago. That's not a thing anymore. All right, the year that they lost the first round to the Buccaneers, maybe the year they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl that year. That was a little thing. Hey, blitz him. He doesn't handle protections the right way. He doesn't always know where to go with the ball against the blitz. That's the way to attack Philadelphia a little bit. And you could stop the run game with the blitzing, right? But they got blitzed so much over that time period that he's become good against that. And what I would tell you now is, and where I was shocked with Denver yesterday, and this is Denver's kryptonite. They got to stop being so meat-headedness on the defensive side of the ball. Stop being so aggressive. Stop looking for a negative 5-yard gain on the offense every play. Because what happens when you do that is you're going to get gashed for 50 yards if you're always trying to throw your haymaker.
He killed the blitz yesterday, by the way.
So he killed the blitz, right.
I mean, listen to this. He was 23. He was 18 of 23.
Right.
He threw 2 touchdowns. He was averaging almost 9 yards per attempt against the blitz.
Yeah.
So basically, he's almost flawless against the blitz yesterday.
And so they're ready for the blitz because they know teams do that from them to time. I understand the Broncos going, hey, we want to crowd the line of scrimmage. We want to stop Saquon Barkley. But right now, I would play almost the angle against Philadelphia of like, I got to see the run game take off a little bit before I just go all in on stopping the run. So there's that. I understand Denver trusts their corners. Riley Moss and Patrick Surtain are as good as it gets out there. They're damn good. But, damn, those 2 receivers on the other side, I don't care who you are. You can't play them man-to-man too much. And that is to where Denver early in the game just played right into the hands of Philadelphia. The one thing we talk about with Jalen Hurts is in the pocket, making the right decisions, making the right reads, doing that, being a surgical quarterback. You take all that away when it's just man-to-man blitz. There's no thinking. It's just, oh, wait, AJ's one-on-one. Oh, I'm being blitzed. I better get it out quick. Boom, throw it up. You said the right thing. They play zone. What's zone do? Now you got to pat the ball. Wait, what coverage is it? Hold on, my guy's not in the zone yet. Oh, bam, Nick Bonito hit me. Right? Yeah. Because if you look at great defenses through time, you need to play man at times, but Buccaneers, with Warren Sapp and the Tampa 2 days, the Seattle Seahawks, when you're at your most dangerous, if you have a front 4 that's really dominant and you could play zone, now that front 4 can get there because the quarterback's reading coverage and waiting for people to get open. And that was the adjustment they made in the second half. They went down 17-3, Saquon Barkley in the little double move of the right sideline. Matt Casey at halftime last night was like, what did they do, Denver? He's our producer for Football Night in America. And I was like, I think they played zone, but I don't know. I haven't seen the film. I don't want to say anything. Luckily, the film was up, and I started kind of zooming through some plays. And I went, oh, no, I was right. That's right. They stopped blitzing, and they played zones. And the game totally changed from there. And then that exposes Philly once again of their inability to adjust on the fly very quickly.
We had a long combo about this last week.
Exactly right.
Absolutely,
right.
yeah. So in the second half of the game, Denver, it was really just cover 3 half the time.
It looked like it.
They played cover 3 50% of the time.
Cover 3, a few Tampa 2s probably, right?
Yep.
And a sprinkled in man in a few spots here and there.
They ran cover 1 twice. They ran cover 0 once.
That's right. So that's what it looked like to me. Yep. And
that's scary for Philadelphia that a team sat in cover 3 and all of a sudden the wheels fell off the bus.
They need more versatility in their offense. People always go, what's going on with Philly? Philly's offense, their talent's awesome. I'm not joking you. They have 15 plays in their offense. It's 15. It's like they got 12 passes and 3 runs, and that's all they do. It's hard to beat really good teams in football that way. It really is. And, you're in the shotgun every play, right? And people are sitting there and they're going to go, well, wait, why not give the ball to Saquon Barkley in the second half and let him run the ball and chew up the clock? Well, Denver played a game of crowd the line of scrimmage. Philadelphia would check to the pass play because they might have had a run call, but wait, there's too many people at the line of scrimmage, and let's go to the pass. But Denver was going, we're going to play pass defense. We're looking like we're at the line of scrimmage to stop the run, but we're all going to drop out of there. And to me, where Philly needs to be a little different is they have to, what I call it and run plays. Plays you know how to execute no matter what the defense is, and run the freaking ball.
Don't check, no check option.
No check.
Yep.
Right? We're in this era in 2025 where we're like, well, the numbers got to be right. And I want to be like, listen, the numbers were never right when I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Never. Right. You think Emmitt Smith didn't see the 8th guy in the box? Like, no. You come up with ways to run, and the running back has to make that 8th guy miss, or you find a way to make the 8th guy kind of out of the picture a little bit. They have to tweak the way they approach offensive football for sure, but that was a big win by the Denver Broncos.
Massive win by the Broncos. One quick note on Saquon. Their last 5 drives, when they had the 17-3 lead, he got 1 carry.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I don't know how that even happens.
That's ridiculous. Can they get under the center? Can they get multiple tight ends in the game? Can they run the ball downhill, or does every run have to be out of the shotgun and the first few steps are sideways? That's what I don't like either. So that doesn't necessarily just impose your physical will on a football team too. So we talk about lack of answers in the pass game and what they want to do there. Run game is simple and they're not stubborn enough with it. The defense played well enough for them to win yesterday. Early on in the game, I thought the Broncos missed a few opportunities to kind of capitalize on some plays. Sutton dropped a pass. R.J. Harvey dropped a pass. Bo Nix missed a wide-open throw down the left sideline that would have been a touchdown, right? So, there was a little glimmers of hope. But when it got to 17-3 on the road, you're like, oh, no, Denver's in trouble. But Denver, and we got to get this through our heads, Denver is a Super Bowl team. This is why Sean Payton has been saying this all along. Denver is a team that, they go into the game yesterday 2-2. And like we said with the first game, I go, they're better than 2-2. And I don't know if the Eagles were as good as 4-0 going in the game. Right? And Denver, yesterday was the first time they trailed in the fourth quarter the whole year because they've lost by 2 walk-off field goals with the Colts and the Chargers. But Bo Nix, clutch. Late in the game, caught on fire there.
9 of 10.
Right.
He didn't miss in the fourth quarter.
And that's what I don't know exactly what Philadelphia did on the defensive side of the ball. But it seemed like just Denver was more aggressive. They got the run game going a little bit. They figured out what they wanted to do against Philadelphia and made some big plays. That, along with Philadelphia and some dumb mistakes and penalties down the stretch, hurt their football team.
Yeah, so that fourth quarter where Bo didn't really miss, they kind of did the same thing. They ran cover 3 half the time. Oh. And then they did hit him with a cover 0 twice.
Yeah.
So, but Bo didn't miss. He was 9 of 10.
Bo didn't miss. So, made a few plays of just getting out of the pocket and avoiding disaster. So all that was good. And listen, I think Denver's one of the better teams in the AFC. They have a little bit of a problem, like I would say to Buffalo at one point, where I go, I wish they had one more sizzle player on offense, right? They're just one more guy. Maybe R.J. Harvey can be that going forward.
They drafted him to be that?
Yeah, but he's not comfortable there yet, right? We've seen little spots of it, but we need to see it on a consistent basis. That's the one thing I worry about. But everything else, man, Denver isn't too aggressive on defense. That's my other thing with them. They're going to be in the thick of things for one of the best teams in the AFC.
The Eagles got the short week. They're playing Thursday at the Giants, and then the Broncos go to London to take on the winless Jets. So
they got a nice little schedule too. Have you seen the Broncos?
Broncos.
It's Jets. It's Giants. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of teams where you go, I have no problem saying they are better than the next 5 teams they're going to play.
Yeah, Jets, Giants, Cowboys, Texans, Raiders.
Right.
Until they play the Chiefs.
Yeah, right. So I know the NFL is the NFL and nothing's a giving, but on paper and the way they performed, yes, I would say Denver is better than all of these teams they're about to play, and they got a chance to be, 8-2, 7-2 going into play the Kansas City Chiefs which would be phenomenal for them.
An absolute thriller yesterday. Bucs Seahawks. Came down to literally the final seconds of this game. The Baker Mayfield Sam Darnold shootout. It was the first game in NFL history where opposing quarterbacks each had 325-plus passing yards and an 80-plus completion percentage.
Incredible.
The thing that's tough is, Chris, these guys couldn't miss all day until Darnold has his biggest mistake. I felt really bad for Sam in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, Sam played out of this world. They both did. They're both. I continue to love this story because it just shits on everybody's narrative of like, oh, these guys are a bust, or the league's all about the quarterbacks. Yeah, the league is about the quarterbacks, but you got to have a team around you, as we say all the time here. And, these two, the Daniel Jones story, all of that, I love it right now. But on fire yesterday. And let me just say, on fire, and it wasn't like it was dink and dunk and throw a screen. It's like, no, drop back to pass, and we don't even look at anybody unless it's past 10 yards down the field. So I love that. I think both of these teams are very good. I think the Bucs are better. The Bucs, to me, when you really look at it, I go, the Bucs healthy are one of the best teams in the NFC. I have no doubt about that. They are a Super Bowl football team, and they're not even at full strength. To go up there in Seattle and do what they did was impressive. I know Seattle was banged up in the secondary, and that hurt too. So I understand that.
There's no Mike Evans in this game.
But you're right. There's no Mike Evans. I mean, I still don't think like Chris Godwin is back to 100% or anything like that. Right. There was no Bucky Irving. There's still some offensive linemen missing in there. So yeah, no, it was even on both sides. I hear you all the way. Here's the interception at the end was big, and the ball got tipped. I think he got hit as he was throwing. Then the ball ricocheted kind of off of somebody's head, and then Levante David made an unbelievable catch. Other moment of the game where I would tell you and go, I just thought was stupid, is we were at 6-0. Okay, they're finally getting a rhythm. The Seattle Seahawks, they're down 6-0. They're past midfield. You go, okay, they're finally mounting a drive here. And they bring in Jalen Milroe. And I like Jalen Milroe. I know you do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Good project to take a chance
Exactly on. Right. He's perfect for that. I am not a fan of, hey, we're trying to get going, or we're just getting going on the offensive side of the ball. Let's take out the leader of the offense and put somebody else out there. I just don't love that. I don't. And especially you put him in with a young guy who hasn't had experience and hasn't really played all year. What happens? Jalen Milroe runs an option to the left. He pitches it behind Kenneth Walker, fumble. Now they go down a short field, touchdown. They're down 13-0. Now the game exploded after that, and it was a lot of fun. But, yeah, those were between the interception late in the game and right there, those were big moments that, of course, were a huge difference in the football game.
This one from Cardiac Bucks. This is the Cardiac Bucks. First team in NFL history to have 4 wins by 3 points or fewer in their first 5 games of a season.
Yeah.
They had multiple walk-off field goals or touchdowns to start the year. This one, another walk-off field goal. It's been, but who do you want more in the NFL right now with the game on the line than Baker Mayfield? I mean, it's a serious question.
It's up there with anybody.
He's answered the bell every single week.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably still going to take Mahomes and Josh Allen over him, but
the fact that I'm asking the question is unbelievable.
He's in that class. Or belief, what he is in the organization, everything is sky high for Baker Mayfield right now. I mean, the ultimate leader. I didn't see him getting a little yelling match again yesterday with the defense at one point. I know I didn't see it till after the day was over. But he has been incredible in the conversation for MVP of the league, early on conversation, right? I would say that. And yeah, that's what I find impressive about the Bucs is I feel like the Bucs haven't even played really complete football yet. We've seen signs of going, whoa, that offense there. Whoa, they went through a half or 2.5 quarters of going, whoa, they were unbelievable. And we've seen the defense have some stretches like that as well. The defense still has some work to go, but I think a lot of Tampa Bay, and I do think they're in the upper echelons of the NFC.
There it is. Yeah. How about this? Saturday night, we had Ohio State, Minnesota, and it was the Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith show. In this game, it was the Emeka Egbuka, Jackson Smith, and Jigba show.
Right.
But by the way, while all this is going on, Marvin Harrison had a sick catch in the first half. Garrett Wilson's been consistent every single week this year.
No doubt about it.
This is unbelievable right now.
It is incredible.
And I think Carnell Tate's going to go in the first round this year. Jeremiah Smith might be the first overall pick in 2 years.
He could be, without a doubt. And like with Carnell Tate in Ohio State, they even told me when I was there a few weeks ago, they were like, he's like, They say T. Higgins when they say his name.
Yep.
I think he reminds us of a T. Higgins. So
body control,
impressive,
and size,
right? But we talked about Emeka Egbuka, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. They're phenomenal, and they're two guys that I was wrong about. That I gotta reevaluate how I look at some of these guys that aren't maybe the fastest in the world, but have unbelievable body control, have unbelievable short area quicks, can explode and accelerate in 2 steps. And as I think I said last week, I think you'd be shocked if you saw JSN or Emeka Egbuka in person, how thick and stout they are. They're built like bell cow running backs almost.
Yep.
And there's a place for that in the NFL, and I've certainly underestimated that a little bit in my evaluation of those guys and guys like that.
How about this one from Fish Sticks 123? Which receiver for the next 5 years, JSN or Egbuka?
Oof.
I think the way JSN has evolved, he's a different player than he was at Ohio State.
He definitely is.
I mean, he's bordering on like top 5 NFL wide receiver.
I hear you. I mean, I think Emeka Egbuka's on that trajectory too.
Not crazy.
You know, I really do.
I don't know how you even make a choice.
I don't know either. To me, the beauty of it is that there's exactly the same player to me.
Right,
That's what I look at. I go, they're the same guy. If you saw them next to each other, you'd almost go, wait, are they brothers? Are they cousins? And they have the same exact build. So, okay, I guess right now with lack of no, I'm going to go Emeka Egbuka.
I thought you would because I think he's faster.
I think he's faster because that's what it went down to.
100%
He can stretch the field a little bit better, and that's why I'm picking him. Exactly right.
It is funny. Like, I've interviewed JSN twice now, and he is the furthest thing from a wide receiver personality I've ever met.
Yeah.
He's number one, probably like the nicest human in the NFL.
Right, seems
but
like
you
it.
understand why he's so good all the time because he's just the most like – his personality, it's more, I don't even know what to compare it to.
It's just carefully, like,
it's nothing like a wide receiver.
Everything just rolls off his shoulders.
Yeah, unfazed. Like, can lose a rep and it's just on to the next one over and over again.
Right.
And I've heard, I don't know Egbuka, but I've heard he's the same exact way.
I can see that. You know, I feel like Puka Nacua is kind of that way, too.
Perfect example.
Just like, they can just let everything roll off. They're not going to yell if they don't get the ball, any of that. But, that was a damn good showing by the Ohio State wide receivers.
It's a funny one from Brian D. Wait, did every bird team lose this week? Cards, Hawks, Eagles, Ravens, Falcons were on a bye.
You're right. Bad week for the birds.
Not a good week for the birds. All right, Commanders, Chargers. Very odd game. It felt like it was just going nowhere for a while for the Commanders, and then it completely flipped the script. Commanders outscored them 27-0 after the first quarter in Jaden Daniels' return.
It was like, so let's just get to some of the meat and potatoes of where the game went crazy. It's 10-0. The Chargers are driving in the second quarter, and you're going, oh my gosh. They're dominating the football game. Like, Washington can do nothing on offense. Right? Jaden Daniels, the pass game, we know that Chargers pass defense is awesome. The run game wasn't really working early on, and you're going, man, going out West Coast, Jaden Daniels first game back, they're about to get blown off the field here. They're driving. Herbert has Quentin Johnson down the middle of the field. He fumbles, right? That was a big moment in the game. Big moment, but not the moment where you just went, whoa, things totally changed and went crazy. So that's a big moment, but it gets one-upped a few drives later where I believe now Washington got the ball in the fumble. Chargers got it back. They punt the ball deep down into Washington territory. Washington has the goal line. Now they have to punt. They punt the ball. Ladd McConkey returns it for a touchdown, but they rough the punter, and it gives the Commanders an automatic first down. They go down and score a touchdown before the half. They get the ball to start the second half. They score again, and the game goes from 10-0 on the verge of being down 17-0 to we're up 14-10, and the Chargers couldn't do jack diddly squat from that moment on. It was unreal.
It really was. It just felt like they had no answers when things got a little hairy for them.
That's what we're going to see here.
And unfortunately, you have to start wondering, like, are there some real concerns here? Because, the second straight loss, that's going to happen. But Herbert with 4 interceptions in his last 3 games, he threw 3 in 2024. Now, they are being more aggressive this year. They definitely are. So, like, you can't just go by the numbers because this is a different offense.
Right. It's that. It's also the O-line problems. Right.
Massive.
They're a team that's built around their O-line. That was what they were hanging their hat on. That we could run the ball, we could dominate the line of scrimmage, and then off of those looks, Justin Herbert will carve you up. Instead, it's become a little bit like, oh, no, we have to try to carve you up to now kind of open up the run game. Justin Herbert's getting hit too much. That's hurt their football team. I think the other thing I worry about a little bit here is O-line problems, and I've liked what I've seen for the most part, but we're getting to a time of the year where teams start to hunker in on what teams do on one side of the ball. And, self-scouting thyself is important. Teams start to show tendencies. And what I do worry about with the Chargers and the Greg Roman offense is, do people catch on to them? It's a few weeks in a row here where I've gone, they start the game out hot. They game plan for people. They have nice plays. They do that. But as the game goes on, there's not as much sustained offense. And that's been a problem with Greg Roman. It's something I worry about going forward with the Chargers as we sit here and watch them, lose 2 in a row.
Awful day for the tackles for the Chargers. Austin Deculus gave up 3 sacks, 5 total pressures. I know they had kind of a revolving door with the right tackle injuries. Pipkins, he gave up a sack, and I think that was his only pressure. But they had to play Jamari Salyer at tackle, and he gave up a sack as well.
Anytime you're rotating offensive linemen, that means you're in trouble.
Yeah, they've just dealt with injury after injury.
And Washington's going to crowd the line of scrimmage. They're going to play man-to-man. And, early on, like I said, the Chargers had their way. The other thing I think we have to worry about with the Chargers, and I think we brought this up a little bit last week, is their front 7. We saw the Giants run the ball on them. And now we've seen Washington run the ball on them. And let me just tell you, the Giants aren't that good at running the ball. Okay, they're not that good. All right. So the thing I tell people sometimes with the Chargers is I go, if I didn't tell you Khalil Mack, tell me another guy in the front 7 of the Chargers. Right. I think if we asked John Smith on the street,
they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know. I'm not sure. Right. So I think that's another problem with their football team. Their pass defense is incredible, but I don't know if they're elite enough up front to stop some of these better offenses, especially that can run the ball. And Washington continues to gash people in the run game week in and week out.
So varied up.
It's surprising to me. I mean, I'm shocked, amazed by that with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, it feels like the Poona Ford loss for the Chargers is being felt. Yeah. I know they drafted Jamari Caldwell. They want some other guys to step up. They've been injured on the edge, but they're definitely feeling the injuries up there and just being thin. We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, we got more games with Give Me the Headlines coming right up. It's time for Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai. Chris, we're going to go through more games. You're simply going to give me what the headline was.
Oh, I've been working hard, man.
I know you got some good stuff.
Press all night.
Yeah,
man.
well, you got some sleep. So, yeah. How about the Lions beat down of the Bengals? This was not like the score as indicated, 37-24, but this game felt so much further away. What is the headline?
The headline for this one is he's not your average Joe. Right, and I think we're gonna keep saying this, as in that, like, damn, Joe Burrow, I didn't know he was carrying the organization to this extent. I mean, again, we hit on it a little last week, but we're getting to a point here where you go, wait, it was an excuse for the Bengals to not have Joe Burrow. Now it's starting to look like, oh crap, are any of you doing anything other than Joe Burrow in the organization? Has it just been Joe Burrow and Chase and Higgins? I mean, damn, that's what it looks like. But what you said is spot on. I mean, the line, the bottom line, 37-24, the stats, it's all bull crap, bull crap, bull crap. That's what it is. I mean, this game was 28-3, and the Lions then played prevent, keep the ball in front of you, let's let them eat some clock up and make them drive. And then the Bengals got in a little rhythm, and the competitive nature of the football game was over. So I don't look at this and go, oh, yeah, 37-24. No, I go, you got your ass whooped in this one, 100%, and their offense is not able to be competitive in the competitive parts of the football game. That's the problem. We know the defense wasn't going to be good. The offense has got to carry the squad here. And when you pay Joe Burrow and Higgins and the left tackle and the right tackle is a first-round pick and all that, yeah, that's the group that's got to carry the squad. And they're not capable of doing that right now. And that's why it's unbelievable. They're the worst 2-3 team in football.
Detroit's offense, after all, is just fine. Fourth straight game with 34-plus points. They have just been an absolute wagon. And we even got to see like some fun wrinkles. Dave Montgomery throwing the ball yesterday. I mean, they have all the answers.
The Ben Johnson thing is over.
Right.
That's squashed. The fact that they have scored more points through 5 games than any other Lions team in history, and they kind of put up a dud the first game of the year against Green Bay. Yeah. I mean, they got it all. There's no weak spot. Right? This is a team you look at and you go, hey, they have the talent of the Philadelphia Eagles on their team, but they have this unbelievable, versatile, creative system where they don't just sit in the shotgun with 4 guys in the receiver and do the RPOs and the spread option all game. They have so many formations, so many ideas. They will run the ball when the box. You think Detroit's like, oh, we're outnumbered by the box. We can't run the ball. No. Dan Campbell's like, hey, up yours. We're going to run it no matter what.
Here's 2 tight ends and David Montgomery.
And David Montgomery. If there's an extra guy, you or Gibbs, make a miss. Do something. That's why we're paying you.
And
right?
they do.
Exactly. So, yeah, they're unbelievable that way. And we know their defense has been damn good, and they make plays on that side of the ball. But, yeah, their offense is going to be a handful for whoever they play. Major credit to John Morton, the OC, because that was a guy that you go, that's under some of the most pressure of anybody in football.
After week 1, I said it. I was like, oh, boy, I don't know if he's ready for prime time again, but he is.
Yeah.
Our next one, definitely the biggest blowout of the weekend. The Colts beat the Raiders 40-6. Give me the headline on this one.
Oh, I'm going back to my football night in America. This is what I used last night. But I did creatively come up with this, all right? Indiana Jones and the Raiders are lost. And I don't know. I know I'm getting old, so maybe I have to explain this to
I hope not.
Young YouTubers.
That's going to make me feel
old. There
old.
was Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I just want to put that out there because I find myself saying stuff like this lately.
Everybody looks at you?
And people your age or younger look at me and like, I don't get it. And I'm like, what? Have you not seen this movie? I've become that guy. It's a shame.
It was tough on College Countdown when everyone looked at you to explain who Bo Jackson was.
Exactly right.
That was not great.
You're the only one that actually watched him play. Can you tell us
about the legend that was Bo Jackson?
Right. Exactly. But, the Colts, I think a lot like we just talked about the team a minute ago, they have answers everywhere.
Yeah.
They can do everything on the offensive side of the ball. There's not one thing you can look at and go, ooh, if we take this away, they're going to be in trouble. No, that's the problem with them. That's what we see from great offenses. You go all in on taking one thing away, you're going to get diced up in another area. So that is the issue. But the Raiders, tough, of course, against that Colts offense. And then the Raiders offense is really the issue. The Raiders offense, the turnovers, right? The inability to be consistent throwing the ball. It's really like, can we make a big play? If we can't move the ball. That's really what it is on that side of the ball, and that's just not sustainable. And then within that, yeah, I know Geno's aggressive. He wants to make plays. But at the same time, you can't go overboard and forcing it. And he's done that a little bit too, I think, because of some of the stagnant moments they've had as an offense.
Is there a combo around Jonathan Taylor as the non-quarterback MVP so far?
Yeah, I mean,
let's take all the quarterbacks out because we know that's what the awards become.
Yeah.
Has to be up there.
I think it should be up there.
Combo would probably be what? Him and Puka.
I know. So I'm looking at some names here too. Yeah, him, Puka. Is there anybody on defense that's worthy of that right now? I mean, Nick Bonito has 7 sacks. I can't believe that.
Nick Bonito's been amazing. Right. Hutchinson's been very good.
Hutchinson's been very good too. But no, I think if you were going to say non-quarterbacks, I think Jonathan Taylor would be at the head of the list there. He's such a double threat. That's what's amazing about him. And like in a game like yesterday, right, it felt like they played the angle a little bit of like, let's not let Jonathan Taylor go off, and then we'll be able to stop everything else. And the Colts are like, okay, no,
it's easy.
We got Tyler Warren, we got Michael Pittman Jr. Daniel Jones can move in the pocket, make plays that way. I'm a huge fan of what the Colts are doing right now on both sides of the football.
They just have such a varied attack.
They do.
They have like 4 wide receivers. They have a great tight end.
Right.
They have an MVP running back.
Exactly
and
right.
Daniel Jones is doing everything asked of him.
Exactly
There's
right.
no way around it. Our last one here for Give Me the Headlines. Ooh, buddy. The Titans out of nowhere beat the Cardinals 22-21, the first win for the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Way to go. Way to go, Cam Ward. Certainly. Now, really, the story of this game was the Cardinals messing it up. And if I could have came up with something more creative headlines than that, right? Like the bird drops the egg in the nest. I don't know. There's something like that. Because let's be serious here. The game was 21-6. It was 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and DeMarcado, running back number 31 of the Arizona Cardinals, breaks a 71-yard run. And they're about to go up 28-6, and the Tennessee Titans hadn't really been able to do jack diddly squat, and he fumbles going into the end zone.
Fumbles going into the end
zone. You would think like
you don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy. I would say most good coaches have probably shown these mistakes in team meetings earlier in the week. So you'd go, yeah, I would think, you'd hope everybody had seen what our guy did with the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, exactly right. In the Rams game last week.
Malachi Corley last year.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson's the famous one.
Right, exactly.
Like,
Jonathan Taylor last year. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's shocking. But between that play right there and then we're down 21-12, we make an interception, and then we fumble the ball, kick it around, kick it forward into the end zone, and the Tennessee Titans get a touchdown. That, bad luck, stupidity, whatever you want to call it, that was the game. I hate to boil it down to that aspect, but there wasn't a lot of bright spots for Tennessee. The fumble with DeMarcado at least gave them like, oh, okay, we're still in this thing. And it afforded Cam Ward the opportunity to make a few plays in the pass game, which he did to Calvin Ridley, and that jump-started their team, and they pulled off a miracle of miracles in this one.
I thought the throw from Cam with 30 seconds left was, in my opinion, in that spot, the best throw of the weekend.
That was the Calvin Ridley down the sideline. No doubt.
Somebody in his
dropped
face.
It in there.
It's
without a doubt.
It won them the game.
Yes.
It absolutely won them the game.
He had that big throw, the Calvin Ridley deep post, maybe a drive or two before, where I just went, ooh, what? That's Cam Ward right there.
Yeah. And the fact that moment wasn't too big for him just speaks to everything you love about Cam Ward.
I'm unwavering on what I've seen from Cam Ward. I don't give a damn what they look like. I know he's going to be fine. He just needs a little help around him. But yeah, good win, good job. Brian Callahan, averts disaster for a little bit. They tried to mess it up. Pollard fumbled in his own end zone or in his own area early on in the football game, but kudos to them for hanging in there and pulling off the miracle of miracles there.
That was Give Me the Headlines presented by Hyundai. We'll take one more break. When we're back, we're going to recap the rest of the action from Week 5.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just download the Sportsbook app and use promo code PUNTER when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Let's take a look at the Texans and Ravens playoff odds. You see the win totals as well at the top here, Chris. This is courtesy of our friends at DraftKings. The Texans are now plus 140 to make the playoffs. Despite things looking horrendous for the Ravens, they are still minus 145 to make the playoffs.
How is this possible?
They are just thinking Lamar is going to come back and they're just going to run over everyone.
This is where I hope people continue to watch our show
to know what's actually going on.
Well, and know what's going on and know that the league is more than just quarterbacks. I mean, that's just just shows you. It's just everybody's quarterback. And Lamar Jackson is the closest thing I've ever seen to Superman. But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, what's that mean? They still can't play defense. I mean, they're in trouble. There's no signs of hope. Any of that. I'm shocked by that right there. I certainly would favor the Texans, even though the Texans I know are in probably a better division right now than the AFC North, which is shockingly bad as we sit here with the Steelers atop of it.
So we start with that game that was just out of control. This is tied for the worst home loss in Ravens team history. I mean, you're watching the game, and it just feels like their defense has, like, street free agents out there everywhere.
There was, no joke, when they were, like, watching the first drive, I said this out loud in the viewing room at NBC yesterday. I went, there's some guys out here that I have to look up who they are. I don't know. Like, I was like, wait, I don't know who that is. Hold on. Right? I mean, so that does say something. But, I mean, that was atrocious yesterday. Atrocious. A little bit where you just go, man, I know there's injuries, all right? I know that. I didn't expect you to win the game. I get that. But I did expect you guys to be able to manage and put up a fight and not just get, like, literally after the first drive of the game go, no, the game's over. Like, it's over. The way that looked right there, that was so easy. Are you kidding me? And then, you saw the Texans right away. They were basically like, we're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and not let Derrick Henry start early. We're going to make Cooper Rush have to throw the ball. And I do think Baltimore is one of those teams that gets away from their run too quickly, too, just like the Philadelphia Eagles do. But within that, yeah, it was just Cooper Rush making his first start for the Baltimore Ravens. It was too much on his shoulders, and they just slowly got, beat down as the day went on.
Maybe a get-right spot for C.J. Stroud. Things starting to look better. I know, once again.
Right, I know.
As easy as it's going to get.
Right, but you'll take it any way you can get it.
But look at weeks 1 to 3 compared to 4 to 5. Right, exactly. This is just much positive momentum and progress for a division that they're going to hang around.
Yeah, well, and I think, too, the other thing we can't forget here with Houston is they played some of the better teams in football here to start the year, right? So some of these teams we look at and go, well, their offense was pretty good, blah, blah, blah. I want to go, Houston played the Rams. The Bucs are good, and they lost a nail-biter. The Jaguars are good, as we've seen. I mean, they just went to San Francisco and beat the 49ers out there, who beat the Rams in L.A. the next week, right? Tennessee's defense is a pain in the butt. Now, I'm not saying that I'm, totally sold on the Texans' offense, but let's see here going forward. I know it's not going to just be a superstar greatest show on turf, but I think it might be a little bit better than what we think, and maybe this can be the jump-off point to gain some confidence and rhythm as the quarterback in the offense goes here.
It has to be, because after the bye this week, they are at Seattle on Monday night. They play the Niners, and then they play the Broncos.
Yeah.
This is what a first-place schedule looks like.
This is a first-place schedule. As I said last week, picking this game, I said the Texans' defense is almost good enough to win games by itself. That's how good they are. They're the Seattle scheme, but they have little dashes of splash of creativity they put in it, and where they're a little different than maybe like your Seattle scheme with your Jets the last few years. The Texans will play man-to-man.
Right.
They will go, no, we got Stingley. We got
the corners to do it.
The corners to do it. Lassiter, exactly right. They go, we will do that a little bit. And that gives them an advantage, and hopefully their defense can continue to hold it down as the offense gets better and better.
Our next game, this is very similar to the Bengals-Lions, where the score really doesn't tell the story. The Jets lose to the Cowboys at home 37-22 for Dallas. This is their third game with 35-plus points this season. Schottenheimer has everything working for the Jets. Same old story. They're now the first team in NFL history with 0 takeaways through 5 games of a season that they're 0-5.
It's incredible, especially because it's just Aaron Glenn and the Lions' defenses were such turnover machines. So to not be able to do that, and I know some of the personnel is maybe not where they want it, But again, I'll get into Aaron Glenn. I'd still like you to coach the defense.
I'm going
to say it every week.
I'm with you all the way on this.
Again, you're not doing yourself any favors. The public doesn't view Steve Wilks as a great defensive coordinator anymore. It doesn't matter what you think. You gotta play the game of politics of football a little bit. And it just looks bad on you and what the general fan will think. And as we know, once a groundswell starts, it just gets bigger and bigger. So, yeah, I think he's got to jump in there. You talked about the offense. I mean, 2 weeks in a row, running back fumbles going into score early in a football game. They're not the type of team that can make those type of mistakes.
They can't overcome it.
Exactly right. The other thing is, just like we talked about last Tuesday after the Monday night game, is there's no passing game in the competitive part of the football game, a little bit like we talked about with the Bengals. There's no passing game. All the stats are end-of-the-game BS stats where Dallas stopped playing competitive football, and they're just playing, let's not mess it up. Let's not let up a big play, a one-play score. So I'm not sitting here going, oh, yeah, there's some positives there. So, yeah, there's major concern with the Jets across the board, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, anybody watching the Jets knows right now they have a lot of issues, but Justin Fields hasn't been a solution. I just want to make that very clear.
100%.
The Breece Hall was running for almost 8 yards a play.
Right.
So that's what they have to lean on, but then you fumble. They're not good enough to overcome it. One note for Dallas, credit to them. They were playing with a backup offensive line in this game. They just looked extremely well prepared and well coached. Like Schottenheimer, he deserves a little love here.
That's where Schottenheimer is really good. And that was the one thing I have tried to say about Schottenheimer. People could question whether he should be the Cowboys head coach, but I think he showed he's worthy here already. He's worthy. And he looks the part on the sidelines. They're managing the games the right way. The approach is the right way every game so far as what to do. And I think you've heard me say this. If there was one thing that I've always liked about Shotty, it's his run game. He understands offensive line play. And that to me was what you saw yesterday. Hey, it's backup guys, but we still know how to coach it up and do it the right way. And on top of you, with you giving praise to the O-line and Shotty, I'll see that and raise you a one Dak Prescott. Because
amazing.
Dak Prescott, I thought, was under more pressure than anybody in football this year. Highest paid player in the league. The results haven't been there. He hasn't played like, I would say, a top 10 quarterback the last few years. Right now, he's playing like one of the 5-6 best quarterbacks in football. I mean, he has been absolutely amazing throwing the football, playing tough. He's the man right now.
Without CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Next one, Vikings-Browns. This was our overseas game, our early starting game. A lot of back and forth in this one, Chris. Carson Wentz, technically Minnesota's 2-1 in his starts. Weird started this game. Jordan Addison was benched in the first quarter based on a coach's decision. Then he catches the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, right. Coach's decision. It sounds like he was late for the walkthrough, and then he might have said a few things he shouldn't have said to Kevin O'Connell. And good for Kevin O'Connell. And he said, okay, well, then you won't be playing the first half of the football game. You can't.
Probably not a battle you want to pick.
Well, yeah, you can't do that. And that's the right approach by Kevin O'Connell. You can't show that kind of leeway or favoritisms towards players, especially young players. And you got a lot of other young, impressionable players on your team, and you were sitting there 2-2 going into a football game. You start to let stuff like that slide. That's the stuff that people start to go, oh, you lose 3 or more games. And people go, hey, well, he lets this guy miss this and this guy miss that, right? So, yeah, good on him there. Way to battle yesterday, because that was a game yesterday where this was my one underdog pick that I got wrong. I picked Cleveland to win this game. And I thought it would play out kind of the way we thought it would. But just not enough offense on that side of the ball yet with Dylan Gabriel making his first start, where they had some opportunities up 17-14, got the ball in good field position, and couldn't put any more points on the board to really put stress on Minnesota. Minnesota hung around, and finally, Carson Wentz and company made a few big plays. And with Kevin O'Connell, you know he's going to eventually figure out how he's being played and what plays to call up. And that was a big win for them on the road over there in England.
And Justin Jefferson, after the game, I give him a lot of credit for saying this. On Jordan Addison, he said, it's just all about growing up and being part of the team and knowing the stakes. Yeah. I've got to do better keeping him under my wing and making sure his head is on straight.
Well, yeah. Justin Jefferson's the ultimate leader. Yes. He understands the sport. He played quarterback a little. I mean, he understands all of that, and he's about as less of a diva as superstar receiver you'll ever see. That's what I love about him. But, yeah, that was a big win here. And Minnesota, they needed that because they are a team that, yeah, it hasn't been perfect, but you see elements of wait, they're still good. There's still some playoff caliber stuff there. So Carson Wentz's health is going to be paramount here. and see what he does, because I would be scared with the J.J. McCarthy thing. One, we don't know how long it's going to be. Two, it's now, again, another period of time without practicing. He wasn't that sharp to begin with before that, so you just wonder where all of this goes. But, Minnesota kind of, I don't want to say saves their season, but at least stops themselves from being in a real bad spot here.
The offense with Dillon Gabriel, kind of what we expected, safe, take care of the ball, check down kind of throws.
Exactly right.
Unfortunately, he's the 17th straight Cleveland quarterback to lose in their first career start.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but he did a lot of good things. Quinshon Judkins continues to be the bright spot where you go, they got a star running back, that's for sure.
He might be the best running back in the class.
I mean,
it's at least a combo. Yeah, Hampton's been very good.
Yeah, but no, I hear you. He looks every bit as good as that. And Gabriel did some good things. Now, Gabriel, I think you look at it and you go, man, I mean, he's small. He plays small. And what I always worry about small quarterbacks, and I think we saw this a little yesterday, not many throws over the middle of the field. Everything was kind of designed to be out here where you could see. It's hard playing that way all the time. And I know it's his first game, and it's a tough defense to play, and I don't think he threw the ball as well as he's capable of. The other thing, too, with Cleveland is just that they're another team where it speaks volumes that Isaiah Bond just got there a few weeks, and he plays as much as anybody on the football team. In fact, when they go 2 and 3 tight end sets, he's the one guy out there, right? So they lack big-time weapons in the pass game that's going to help any of their quarterbacks out. That at least bothers me a little bit. But Cleveland's defense is going to keep them in a lot of games.
Another thriller from the weekend. Maybe the stakes weren't as high, but the Panthers beat the Dolphins 27-24. The Panthers trailed this game 17-0 in the second quarter. This ties their largest comeback in franchise history, 2018, 2004, and 2003. So a big win for the Panthers.
Huge win.
I mean, they really, really need to start showing something with Canales and Bryce Young, Chris. Or as we said, the clock will kind of start early on them.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been starting yesterday with the way it looked early on. I mean, early on in the football game, Tua and the Dolphins just absolutely had their way. I mean, picking the Panthers defense apart. Couldn't do anything. Then Bryce Young throws the ball over the middle. He throws it high. It gets intercepted. They score more points. So you're just going, oh, man, I mean, the Panthers are just no good. But what we see is Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator of the Panthers, gets a little bit of a clue on how they're being attacked by the Dolphins offense, starts to totally stop it. I mean, to the point where you go, man, we go 2.5 quarters. They can't do anything until he throws a deep post to Jalen Waddle. And the biggest problem here is the Miami defense stinks. I mean, the Miami defense stinks. They got the ball run right down their throat. And between
the second week in a row.
Second week in a row. And between Dowdle and Bryce Young and then T-Mac, Teteria McMillan, who just he's their go-to guy, they got a nice little trio right there that made some plays, and they were the stories of the day. But that was a big win for the Panthers coming back there and really dominating the second half of the game.
Rico Dowdle, 206 rushing yards. That's the most by a player in a game this season. Welcome back, Rico Dowdle, filling in for the injured Chuba Hubbard. He was fantastic.
He really
yesterday.
was. They got a big, strong, powerful offensive line, and the Dolphins, they don't have enough big people. That's the bottom line.
The problem.
It's a problem. They got Chop Robertson, they got Chubb, they got Jalen Phillips, but Seiler's a good interior defensive lineman, but he's not necessarily a run stopping. I'm going to hold up against double teams and do that type of stuff.
Kenneth Grant doesn't look good right now.
Not right now.
That was supposed to be the solution.
Exactly
to
right.
That is let's draft a nose tackle, and it hasn't clicked for him, especially against the run. Our last game, the Saints beat the Giants. This one feels like, though, Chris, the Giants beat themselves in this one. Spencer Rattler made some really good plays in this game. I want to give him some love.
Right.
The Saints trailed a lot of comebacks yesterday. The Saints trailed 14-3, then they outscored the Giants 23-0. The Giants had 5 straight drives with a turnover. That is the longest streak by a team in a game since 2016. Of course, that was the Jets. It's just New York football.
You're everywhere. I know.
You can't escape it.
I know. And it's at least with the Giants compared to the Jets, I'm excited. I know I'm not a Jets fan, but there's some silver linings with the Giants a little bit, right? Jackson Dart still looked like, he still did some things where you're like, whoa, that was a hell of a play. Holy crap, he got out of the pocket, made a throw, do all that. Yeah, they made mistakes yesterday not protecting the football. Scadaboo's still exciting. There's a huge fumble, though. Yes, he's nuts.
He's like from 1988.
He really is.
It's crazy.
But yeah, like you said it right. I mean, Dart drops the ball, Scadaboo drops the ball, Darius Slayton drops the ball, and then Dart forces 2 balls down the field because they're losing, and he's trying to make a play and kind of get it going that way. So yeah, that was a lesson in young guys protecting the ball in the NFL is everything, right? It's in college. More times than not, you're at Arizona State, you're Ole Miss. 1 or 2 turnovers in a game when you're you're not going to lose anyways. It doesn't matter unless maybe you're playing Alabama or Georgia, okay? Right. But other than that, you just when you're a college player, you don't think like that. We turned it over. It's all right. We're going to ball out and come back the next play. The NFL, it's like you turned it over and it's like, oh shit, they went and scored 7 now, and now we're down 14 or whatever, and it's going to be a tough day that way. So yeah, all of that. But to hit on the Saints, you said it right. I mean, Spencer Rattler made a few plays, definitely. The Saints O-line didn't let the Giants D-line go off, make any strip sack fumbles, make any plays like that, right? And, really, at the end of the day, it was the Saints causing those turnovers. You can blame it on whoever you want. The Giants definitely were loose with the ball, but that was a big win for the Saints' first win of the year.
I say this almost every week, but I think if Rashid Shaheed was on a contender, we'd talk about him all the time.
I would agree. He's one of the best big play receivers in the sport.
It's crazy.
I'd put him up there with Jameson Williams, Jamar Chase. I mean, you say it. You ask me, like, top guys I'd want to, as a quarterback, throw a post route or a post corner to in football. Rashid Shaheed would be on that short list, without a doubt. He is a superstar playmaker that's been stuck in a abysmal offense really bit. Right.
Spencer Rattler's first career win. He entered the game 0-10.
Yeah.
That wraps it up for us.
Good for him. That was it?
That's it, man. We went through them all.
That was easy. What up, you two? We're good to be here, man. You get the live Chris Simms experience on YouTube, but you don't really get all my swears that I would normally say if we weren't on YouTube. But either way, it was a lot of fun.
We'll do the next 2 shows.
We'll do it the next 2 days. You'll hear a lot more. If you want to hear me really go off, tune in on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday for those podcasts. Me and Connor will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, breaking down more things that we saw. I'm going to watch some film from Sunday's game. We'll look forward to the next week's games a little bit. Connor, as always, you the man. I appreciate you hanging in there.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the Monday night game. Chiefs-Jaguars. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm taking the Chiefs in a close one.
Me too.
You're going to?
Yeah, I like the Chiefs in this.
All right, you're here. It's Chiefs here. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow.